In this day and age, when you're monitored on everything you do, everything you say, your online browsing history, your phone records, your tax payments, where you move around, assuming you have identification, it's hard to believe that the government doesn't publish or claim that they don't have statistics when it comes to certain types of crime. And in this case, particularly today, we're going to look at statistics for migrant crime. Now, there has been a call here in Ireland for these statistics to be published, which is very welcome. And it also comes off the back of legislation that's being put in place in England that these statistics should be published by the end of this year in the UK. So Ken O'Flynn, who is a TD for Cork North Central in the Independent Ireland Party, he has said that Ireland must publish migrant and ethnicity crime data. So he's calling for this to be published, which I just can't believe that this information isn't out there in the public domain. You can see there in the backdrop of that slide, Denmark, for example, they do publish information there. And if you look at that screenshot there, crimes committed, country of origin, Danish people, 85.09 per 100,000 people. Western countries, 75.89. Non-Western countries, 266.49. So that graph in and of itself is a very simple one and tells a story. So the strapline is that Ireland must publish migrant and ethnicity crime data. Now, this is coming off of the back of a push, especially by Robert Jenrick, who is a Conservative MP over in England. He has this is also being published in the so-called mainstream or legacy media, which is interesting. Robert Jenrick, the facts are in. The facts are in. Mass immigration has led to a rise in crime, reported by The Telegraph. Coming into this country is a privilege, he says, and never a right. It should not be afforded to anyone likely to endanger our citizens. So that's, to me, common sense. That just makes perfect sense. But that sort of common sense and wisdom doesn't seem to be in operation in the Irish government. So Jenrick has put up a little video clip of this. We're going to have a look at that right now.
So some good news just in. Almost exactly a year since I tabled an amendment to force the publication of data on crime by nationality. It looks like it's finally going to happen.
Forcing the publication of data on crime by nationality. Imagine having to force that out. Why should that have to be forced out? There's an old government line that if you're not doing anything wrong, you've nothing to be afraid of. So if the government tell you that they're spying on you, or they want to have access to your private emails, for example, or access your phone data, and you object to that, they could turn around and say, well, if you're not doing anything wrong, you've got nothing to fear. Well, surely the same thing should be applicable to the governments. If you're not hiding anything, or there's no information there that might show you to have huge amounts of egg on your face, well then publish the data. So Jenrick has pushed hard for this, and it now looks like it's going to happen.
The cover-up is coming to an end. We'll finally see the hard reality that mass migration is fueling crime across our country. Frankly, the public deserved to know this long ago.
So those are very interesting choice of words. Fueling mass migration is fueling crime. This is the harsh reality. There has been a cover-up being done on this. He's coming out and he's saying it, and it's going to be enacted or published in England by the end of this year. Apparently, Yvette Cooper, the Home Secretary, is bowing under pressure. So going back to what Ken O'Flynn has said, Ireland must publish migrant and ethnicity crime data. We'll have a look at the statement that Independent Ireland have made on this one, and this makes perfect sense. So calls to publish migrant crime data. What are they afraid of? Says Ken O'Flynn. My point exactly. I will bring forward legislation to compel the government to act in this area. Imagine having to put your own government's arm up its back while they resist kicking and screaming to publish simple data that they must have on record. They have to have on record. They're just simply not releasing it. So Ken has said he will bring forward private members' legislation seeking to compel government to publish data on both the nationality and ethnic status of offenders who are resident in Ireland or seeking leave to remain here under the international protection system. Deputy O'Flynn said there was no justifiable reason to make such data publicly, not to make such data publicly accessible, especially on foot of the decision reported today that the UK government is set to reveal plans to achieve this objective. So he's holding up, across the pond, across the water. Britain are doing it. We should be doing it. Makes perfect sense. But of course, the Irish government doesn't operate on logic or wisdom or common sense or for the betterment or good of their own people, do they? It follows confirmation from the UK that there were 19,244 foreign offenders awaiting deportation at the end of 2024, up from 14,500 approximately at the end of 2022. So that's quite a jump from just under 15,000 to just under 20,000. That's a huge jump in the space of 2 years? If we want maximum transparency, if we want an evidence-based debate on the status or ethnicity of criminal offenders, we must simply introduce far more robust statistical methodologies than the ones in place. Well, there's nothing in place. Nothing at least that's being revealed. If we look to other countries in Europe, we can see the direct correlation between mass immigration and crime rates compared to the indigenous population. The published figures from Nordic countries such as Sweden and Denmark have led to wholesale change in their asylum policies, and I believe the public deserves to know if a similar trend is occurring here. It seems highly unlikely our own government or Department of Justice will agree to this, and that is why I fully intend to bring forward amending legislation. What I would be calling for is the Minister of Justice to produce and publish an annual report setting out stats on the nationality and visa or asylum status of every offender convicted in the courts. But as we've seen in Sweden and Denmark, for example, publication of such data has led to a revision of their asylum process. And that does not look like something that the Irish government wants to do. At present, the entire debate is operating in a vacuum of solid information because neither the courts or the Gardaí can readily provide the type of detail that's required. Well, why not? Why not? Why are they fighting this? Why are they resisting this so much? In light of what the UK is now doing, in light of what Sweden is doing, in light of what Denmark and other European countries are doing, why is Ireland lagging behind on this? Do the Irish government not provide them or pride themselves in being progressive and keeping up with the times? It seems to be on this issue. No, they don't. So why not? Would you be behind this publication of data? And if not, why not? Leave me your thoughts, comments and opinions below. Let's see what happens. Let's hope that this can get pushed through and revealed, because it could well lead to a revision of the asylum process as per Denmark and Sweden, for example. So let me know what you think below in the comments. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Consider becoming a channel member. Today, Wednesday, we have the weekly question and answer session for channel members. I post up a video for those who have joined the channel, and we chew the fat a little bit directly in the comments section and that below, and you get to suggest things for me to talk about directly on these members only videos. So think about that if you haven't done it. Share the content freely. For now, I'm Rick Munn. No risk, no reward. Over and out.